So we've been having some family forums around EMCF recently. It's a rare thing for us to have EMCF family forums because it just feels like to us this is a time where we're going into significant change. We want to communicate it, we want to talk about it, we want to share it and go on this journey together. As a church, EMCF has really got quite a history now, going back to 1980, even before. And during that time, there have been times of quite significant change. We believe God's bringing us to a point of change now. And so that's one of the reasons for talking through these family forums about changes and what we're doing. There's a couple of other factors, though, that are adding to this time that feels like a significant time. One of those is to do with Nestor and myself and our role and a time of succession, we believe, coming for us. In 2 years' time, 2020, we will have been leading EMCF for 40 years. And we do believe that there's a time coming where, much as we do think that some people think we're going to go on eternally, that there's an opportunity and a time for us to begin to step back from our leadership. We've not been here before. For all the other changes, we've been still involved. And so that's quite a big part of what we're looking to do. Also, we just do feel like God's bringing us as an area church where we've planted out into numbers of cities and locations and towns to make we're a point of a choice, really. We're a kind of a fork in the road. And one direction would be for us to go and say we're going to become more a network of churches, allowing more sort of local autonomy for those churches. Or we could go another direction, which is to say that in fact we want to be more together and more one church. So that really is the choice that we feel that we're facing, and do think that we've come to a point where just to carry on as we're doing isn't quite working at lots of different levels, and that we're coming to a point of change. So what did we do? Well, firstly, we felt we wanted to call you, the church, to prayer and to see what we felt God might be saying to us through prophetic particularly. And clearly we had some real strands as people began to feed in what they felt God was saying, and some very clear prophetic sounds that we got. There are a number of different themes and pictures to do with our intimacy with the Lord, how God was wanting to take us forwards. But particularly there was a sound of change. There was a preparation for change. One of those pictures particularly was that we noted was about a volcano, a sense of a volcano which was erupting, causing quite a change of landscape. But the result was very fertile land, more fertile again. Interesting thing about that word was that it didn't just come once, it came a second time and even a third time, 3 separate different people with the same picture. So that got our attention. There was also a sense that God was calling us to dig deep back into our roots. There's quite a few words about roots, DNA, going down into those to try and dig deep for them. And another one, particularly about like a snooker table, about balls being reset. Like one game was over and the balls were being reset, ready for something fresh and something new. All of those added up to us feeling like God is really preparing us for a sense of a significant step change for us as a church. So the second thing we did was we involved some friends and helpers with a consultation. And so we've involved a couple of things where we did some consultations on a Saturday. A number of you will have been involved in those. A number of questions were put to you. And then just more recently, we've done a survey out, which has been done through email, where people have had an opportunity to voice and to share their thoughts and their opinions. What have we done with that feedback? Well, we've given some of that feedback in these family forums. Some of that feedback was really encouraging. It was the positives that people would see, why they came to this church, why they're part of us as a family, what they see as the strengths. And then there was the opportunity for people to say, and what were the frustrations or challenges? And then we had quite a list of those. There was a number of things which people felt like these were our particular challenges which we're facing as a church at the moment. We've had to look at those, we've had to embrace those and take those on the chin and say, this is what we are hearing from you. But then there's also, where would people want us to go? And we really getting a hold of those and saying, these are some of the thoughts and heart that we have for our future together. And we do believe that there's a sense of people wanting to sort out the issues, the challenges, the problems, but come on a journey together. So with all of those things, we felt like we needed to dig deep into who we are, who we're called to be as a church or as a people. And there is this kind of like triangle, if you like, of three very, very prominent parts that we believe are values and what makes us who we are. If you can imagine a triangle at the top, you'd say the key thing really is presence. So we believe we are a people of the presence. We are a people who are charismatic people, spirit-filled people. We were born in the Spirit. We believe in the life and the fruit and the gifts of the Spirit. In fact, that idea of God's presence by His Spirit is so important to us that we'd say, like Moses said, if His presence doesn't go, we don't want to go there. Then there's family. If you can imagine another corner of the triangle. Family is really who we believe we are. We're a relational people. We're called to belong to one another. Everyone's got value. Everyone's got purpose. Everyone should be growing. That's what family really looks like. And fundamentally, that's who we think we are as well. And then the third part of the triangle is mission. And that we're called to be a people of the presence, family, but also a people who are on mission and called to God's great purpose, His great mission that we're joining in with. So where have we got to? Well, here it is. We're at the fork in the road, and we feel God is clearly pointing us towards becoming more one church. This phrase, better together, comes again and again and again, and we feel like somehow that we should be pulling more strongly together and identifying more as one church. So that's actually not an easy journey for us. It's a one that we want to go on. We want to invite all sorts of cooperation, help, advice along the way. And at the moment, we can't answer a lot of some of the questions that will be asked. So what does that mean? What does that look like? But we do feel there's something fundamental here about belonging as one church in many locations. Why would we do that? Well, ultimately, we believe that serves the great call and mission that God's put on us. At the moment, we're on about 5 or 6 different locations. We want to know, how could we be 50 locations? How could we even multiply that further out? I believe God has called us to be a missional movement, where we're not just a few churches that are collecting together, but there's something movemental in what we're doing. What does it mean? Well, it'll mean a new name. We don't have a new name just yet, but we are looking to have a re-established name which will change the name of all our local congregations and churches. I'm afraid for those of you who've just settled into a name, we're about to come and change it again. It'll mean a change on leadership, it'll mean a change on how we do finances, it'll be a change on how we organise and run ministries. But there's a lot of questions we don't know yet. Ultimately, we believe that by going in this direction, it will give us a greater sense of how we can live out this presence, family, mission together and really get on a journey together. So we're inviting you really to be part of that. We've got lots to work through, to think through, lots to put flesh on the bones, but we're asking that you come with us in that journey as we launch really into a new season. Some of the questions that will be asked is, does this mean that we're going to stop any of the meeting locations that we're in already? No, we're carrying on exactly the same where we are at the moment. You're going to ask, is there any kind of change to the staffing? Well, there may be some changes in how the staffing roles work, but we're not looking for any major changes of staffing. There may be many other questions that you have got coming. We are ambitiously hoping that by September we will have a new name, we'll have some sense of what a new shape looks like, and we'll be kind of beginning a new phase of our journey together. We just trust that you'll be able to come with us on this exciting adventure in God.